It's the Junior Kekuewa Jr. Show, starring Junior Kekuewa Jr. Join Junior along with the Rainbow Hay Band as he makes any kind from Hawaii. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Junior Kekuewa Jr.
How you doing? Okay, whoa, hey, hey. All right, hey, Marlo, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. I'm Junior Kekuewa Jr. on the podcast that really asks no questions. Well, the question is, like, what kind of world you want to live in, right? Okay, we're going to discuss that today. But first, we got some stats because we haven't done the stats for a long time. Our newest countries, New Zealand, South Africa, and Turkey. Okay, no, really, we had some guys in Turkey, and they're checking us out, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. I don't even know what they sound like in Turkey. I was going to do a Filipino accent. Sorry about that. Anyway, I say that, and I'm not like, teasing Filipino people. I'm very grateful. I used to do Filipino radio like long time ago back in the day. Okay, Apple Podcast is, kids say, so you see Jay, right? Redid everything for us. He's our genius, our resident genius. And so when Jay tweaked everything, he goes, no, you got to redo the podcast. You got to do this. You got to do that. And I was like, I'm old school, right? So I'm fussy like that. I get like, man, like what? Like, especially when I'm on coffee, right? So, but anyway, everything turned out better. So Apple Podcasts now 50.7%, which means that the majority of people are listening to us on iPhones. Web browsers, 19%. We've never seen those numbers. Web browsers was like 2%. Spotify is actually down to 11.3, to 11.3%. Spotify for podcasters now is 8.5%. iHeartRadio, okay? I used to be involved with iHeartRadio, 5.6%. It's growing. I even have, if you go on iHeartRadio and if you belong to their website, I have a radio show on iHeartRadio. So you can listen. Just go in there, go on the website. Okay, it's the iHeartMedia app, and just search Junior Kekuewa Jr., and you'll come up with all my music, the radio station, my own. It says Junior Kekuewa Jr. Radio. It's streaming. That's all it is. And and it's in there. Now, we have other 4.2%. So those are people that are on other browsers and platforms. Now, we want to say that amongst all the countries and whatever, of course, the U.S. is number one. Hawaii, let me see. Okay, we're going to show you. We're going to tell you guys right now. Okay, so Honolulu, when we first started the podcast, like years ago, okay, Wailuku Maui was number one. Now it's Honolulu. Okay, thank goodness. Honolulu, you guys pulled in the lead. Hilo is the second. Then Mililani. Then Kaneohe, Kilauea, Eva Beach. Kilauea, I believe that's on Kauai. And Waianae. And then Aiea. And then it kind of just breaks down after that. But yeah, that's the Hawaii numbers for you local people from Hawaii. Now, we're getting more people from Hawaii on the podcast. Before, it used to be like outside Hawaii. But anyway, thank you, local people. Attitude of gratitude, that's what we do on the podcast. This is a life coaching comedy podcast. But it's kind of taking a small kind turn. I mean, not turn in format, because it's still life coaching, okay? But the life coaching questions now are a little bit different, let's say, than before. Okay, because right now, the question is, you guys really want to live like this? I mean, there's things going down, right? And of course, the last episode, we were talking a little bit about Lahaina. But you know what? We didn't get to finish because of the time. So I'm going to try and whip through everything, okay? What did we see with Lahaina? Well, we saw a delayed government response. Was it deliberate? We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know. Okay, but it looked that way. Okay, the local people were like, hey, you know what? The hell it is. We're going to just do what we do, and we're going to help each other, okay? But then you had entities, like, police, right, blocking the roads. And there's only 2 roads to block, right? One on each side on Maui, if you look at the map. If you guys are from Maui or whatever, but yeah, so there's only 2 roadblocks to set up, right? One on one side, one on the other side. And if you block both of them, there's no way to get to Lahaina, and that's what they did. They were blocking other local people. Now, local people went over from Oahu. They went over from from the Big Island, from Maui, Molokai. There was this one guy, like he was a boat captain, and he was one of the first guys to like say, "Hey, you know what? I gotta go. I gotta go help these people." And that's us local people over here in Hawaii. So if you guys are listening, like outside of Hawaii, right, and you're wondering about us, and like you watch news clips like Hurricane Katrina, like all those big disasters, right? Okay, it doesn't look like that in Hawaii. What it looks like in Hawaii is everybody pitches in and everybody helps everybody. Okay, now I was helping online, digitally, and there were many people that were helping online and sharing digitally, okay? Because if it's one thing that's going on that we see that is starting to like prevent total chaos and total control and total all kind of stuff like that, right? Is that people are sharing information. Sometimes the information is correct. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's legit. Sometimes it's, people make up stuff, right? And, but here's what happens though. When information is shared like that and stuff is, presented, right? At least something is presented, right? People look at it, they consider it, and they start thinking twice. And I think that's what's necessary right now, that we share information. I think it's necessary that we all communicate with each other. Now, that's what we have in this day and age. I mean, that's our protection. That's our avenue, is communication, right? Because in the old days, it was easy to do all kinds of stuff, right? It was easy because somebody had to go run and get a payphone. Now everybody has a phone. Everybody has, right? Everybody's like on their phone. Everybody's, using their phone. Now, I gotta say, the things that I see in technology, because I work with technology every day. Okay, I have a company called VMAC Consultants. Check it out. It's vmacconsultants.com. Cheap plug, but yeah, we do we do smart sites. We do AI. We do sales pages, landing pages, marketing, all of that, digital marketing, that kind of thing. So we see what's coming. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about what's coming. Okay, Hawaiians, I don't know if you guys prepared for what's coming. I don't like part of what I see. I gotta say that this is progress. In some instances, it's progress. In other instances, it's total control. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? So you can use a cell phone for good or for bad. Okay, you can use a gun, right? So gun rights, everybody, right? Second Amendment, right? Okay, so you can use a gun. The guns don't kill people. People use guns and kill people. Okay, guns do not kill people. But yeah, I mean, and that's just, like I said, it's my personal opinion. This is my personal thoughts. Okay, but yeah, it takes someone to, use a very good innovation or technology or whatever it is for good or evil or good or bad, whatever. Evil is a strong term, right? But there are people that use technology for evil purposes. I mean, we know that. Okay. I mean, you could take a boat, you could take a speedboat and you'd use it to do illegal stuff, or you can use it to, have fun on the water, right? On the ocean. Okay. So anyway, but it depends on how you look at it. But control now is a little different. When you get into control, okay, when you get into digital currency, okay, because all these subjects are coming up now. All these topics are coming up. And I know this is a life coaching podcast, right? The life coaching is coming. No worries, okay? Hang on. We're going to the left over here, okay? But all of these things now, if you are new to the podcast, you never heard my podcast before, and because I got these younger guys going, Unks, come on, you're not doing comedy. What's up with that? So I try to make it entertaining. I try to make it funny, right? Because that's my nature. That's what I do. I just, sometimes I see the most serious things and I make a joke. Because that was what I had to do back in the day on the radio doing comedy. And I gotta say, I'm not a comedian. I am not a comedian. I'm a voice actor. Okay, there's a big difference. Doing comedy, I want to say in the privacy of a radio studio, because nobody can see you, right? And you're doing your thing and you're making monkey and you're doing all of that. And it's a very different thing than being right there on a stage in front of, 1,500 people, right? So a stand-up comic is very different from what I do. I'm a voice actor. I've been a voice actor for years and years and years. But anyway, So now to look at the situation, right? Because I got half of the audience going, hey, you better talk about this serious stuff that's going on because this is serious. And then I get people going, bro, we're a comedy. So, okay. All right. Hopefully we get a little bit of both today. But yeah, so here's the thing, right? I'm seeing all these topics come up. One of them is digital currency. Okay. So with digital currency, I don't know if you guys know. And I don't know if my older demographic, because we were gaining some older people here on the podcast. And I don't know if you guys are really aware of how fine-tuned digital is, like digital everything. It's very precise. It's very mathematical. It's very exact, okay? So let me give you a scenario with digital currency. Let's say, for example, tomorrow, cash did not exist and it was all digital. Like everything's digital, okay? And you have currency. Now, here's what they can do. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to open your eyes, okay? I'm trying to just open your eyes. Okay, it's not that, like, this is gonna happen, okay? I'm just saying these are hypotheticals. But this could happen. Depending on who the issuer is, right? It could be the government, it could be the Fed, and we know the Federal Reserve is not really it's a private institution, it's not government, and all of that. And I think most people know that, right? But here's the thing, right? It's so precise and so exact that you could go like, okay, well, the Jones house had bought 5 loaves of bread last month, and looks like they're eating too much bread in their house. So we're going to cut it back to like 3 loaves of bread for this month. They can do that. They can put a limit on stuff. They can go, well, the Jones family, keeping up with the Joneses. In Hawaii, it's the Kellogg's. Keeping up with the Kellogg's. All right, there's your comedy. Okay. But no, I'm serious. Like if you're buying toothpaste or toilet paper, so here, this happens in Hawaii, and, my majority of people are outside Hawaii for the podcast, so I will tell you about Hawaiians and Hawaii. Okay, when I say Hawaiians, when you're listening to the show, you are an honorary Hawaiian. But the Hawaiians here, and I'm talking about people that live here, okay, local people that live here, even without the cocoa. The cocoa is the blood, okay, even without Hawaiian blood. The people that live here, when there's a hurricane warning, we all go to Costco. Well, not me, but yeah. The majority of people go to Costco, right? And they buy up all the toilet paper and they buy all the bottled water. So by the time you get there, like it's all gone. You got it, right? And now what happens? Well, let's say the hurricane doesn't come. Praise God, right? It doesn't come. All right. Now, say that doesn't happen. Now everybody's like surplus, right? So I have a theory about Lahaina, right? I thought like these guys that go down and buy all the toilet paper every time we have a warning, they probably had a lot and they probably kokua, Lahaina, right? So, and that was probably a good thing. But anyway, what I'm saying is that's what happens because we live on an island. Okay, because we're out here in the middle of the Pacific. All right, that's why it happens. So everybody thinks ahead, like way ahead, and they they overdo and they overconsume and in waves like that when we get a warning for disaster or something like that, right? Now, they can put a limit on stuff like that. They can solve that problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, okay? But I'm just saying that they can stop something like that from happening. So that next time when, if everything is digital currency and we have a, emergency like that, right? Oh, hurricane's coming. They can put a limit on everybody instantaneously, okay, from a computer. And they can do it with AI, okay? And artificial intelligence is what I'm talking about for you, Kupuna. They can do it with AI, okay? And they can say, all right, everybody's going to rush to the store on this one, but, people cannot buy more than, 2 packs of toilet paper, whatever. So you cannot hoard, in other words, okay? So you'll be prevented from stocking up on things. Now, my mom, growing up, she stocked up on all kinds of stuff. We always had extra toothpaste, extra toothbrush. In general, right? So we're prepared. We weren't, doing an emergency type thing. It was just the way we did it. It's on sale. Okay, buy extra. And now we have, right? And then when the price goes up, no problem. We already have, you see? So, and that kind of thing. But that can all go away, Hawaiians. It can go away. You can be limited on the amount of gas you put in your car. Okay. Now, if the current trend is successful with electric cars, right? Guess what? They can turn off your car. They can go, oh, well, all this, and it's all linked through the same thing. Okay. It's all linked to the same avenue, the same computer. Okay. It's called blockchain. That's coming. Okay. Now it's all going to be transparent as well. Okay. So let's say the Jones family wants to do business with the Brown family. Okay. The Jones family can see what the assets of the Brown family is in blockchain. You can see it. You can say, oh, the Browns are worth $2 million or whatever it is. Whatever. I'm just saying, right? And then you can do business with them or whatever. But it's going to be transparent if and when this system happens. And to me, Hawaii, it's not if, it's when. Okay? It's really when. Things are headed in that direction. However, we can put, through legislation, through government, through processes, right? We can put limitations on this stuff, and we can set up rules and laws and things that govern the abuse of these things, because they can shut off anything. They can say you only can have so much water. You only can run X number of gallons a month. After that, it automatically shuts off your pipe. Okay, there's smart meters out there. Smart meters control the electronics in the house. Like, oh, well, so-and-so, he sleeps with his air conditioning every night, and it's actually cooler at night. So we're going to put a little thing on his smart meter so that, he cannot use electric after 9 o'clock at night. I mean, all these things are programmable, like every single thing. So, what I'm proposing is to think about these things. Just think about it. Just think about these thoughts. Everything in your life can be regulated through, digital currency, because you got the currency is just the money, right? And then they're even talking, I've heard Circle's podcasts and other podcasts speak on digital currency, like, at the end of the month, if you have any left over, they'll just take it back. And then you get another set to work with. It's like chips, right? It's like, okay, they give you a bunch of chips to play with, right? When you're out of chips, you just hang until they refresh your chips, kind of thing. So what happens to savings? Well, nobody gets to save anymore. Hey, really? What? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Nobody gets to save money anymore. Nobody gets to, do this, do that, do whatever anymore. Okay, the whole world, the landscape, like everything's going to be different. Okay, but like I said, okay, here's your big fat but. Okay, but we can legislate these things. These things can have policies and laws and governance and regulations and things like that. Okay, it can. I don't know if I can put myself in the opposing party's shoes and go, nah, you know what? It would be better to control these guys. I mean, that's just the way I think. I can put myself in somebody else's shoes and go, yeah, well, what would the advantages be on the other end? Like if they limit us on the other side, what would the advantage? Oh, total advantage. Hawaiians, total. It's like, okay, here you go. And we're talking, I don't want to use the C word, but there's a C word, right? That describes that kind of government. Right. And when you're talking about that kind of stuff, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to put fear in your heart or whatever. OK, because you're not supposed to be afraid, because this battle is supposed to be won already. OK, it's just a matter of people becoming aware. That's all. And that's what this podcast is for. That's why it's a life coaching podcast. OK, so first we make you aware. Right. And then we come in with the remedy and how you can just go through this stuff. Okay. Now, one way is to create awareness. Okay. The second thing is to take action. Okay. So let's talk about goals and let's talk about life coaching for a sec, right? Now, you have to take action on things, right? Because you cannot sit down and wait for the mountain to come to you. You got to go to the mountain. Right. I worked with Hawaii's greatest star at one point. I didn't work with him, but I was around him while he was working. And when he wasn't working, he was answering my stupid questions because I was 17. I was 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, that, 20, yeah, till 20. So 17 to 20. And I used to ask all kinds of questions because I wanted to learn about the industry. And one thing he told me is, hey, the mountain's not going to come to Muhammad. Muhammad got to go to the mountain. And that's what he told me. That's an exact quote. Okay. And so, I always remembered this, right? It's like, hey, you know what? You have to take the steps. Now, God is real, in my opinion, Hawaiian. That's like I said, this is just my opinion. But in my opinion, God is real. And in my opinion, right, God helps, but only if you initiate. Because you have to, first of all, imagine the outcome. Okay, imagine your ideal outcome, like for anything, for a goal. Now you write it down. Okay, so the three things human beings don't do enough of, right, is write the goal, speak the goal, and visualize the goal. So once you do those three things, you visualize first. What is this going to look like? Then start writing your affirmations towards the goal. Okay, and then you start speaking your affirmations. Okay, so you write it in the morning, write it out. I am so happy and grateful now that, I have that new job, right? And be specific. Write it down. Write the company down. Write the job down. Okay. What happens next? Well, you speak it every night before you go to bed. I am so happy and grateful now that I work at Tony's Fish Factory. Whatever, right? And then there's your comedy. Okay. So, but I'm just saying, right? You do that. You verbalize at night. Okay. And this is why praying is important. Okay. When you say your prayers out loud. You can say them quietly out loud in a room by yourself. Okay. And it works. It really, really works. I was testing prayer in my 30s. I was testing prayer and I was praying for off the wall stuff. I'm not kidding. I was testing prayer and I got all my off the wall stuff. It was unreal. I mean, crazy kind of unreal, right? But speak it. Okay. Visualize, write it, speak it. And it will start to materialize. It will start to manifest because you have that power. Now, what do you do in the meantime? Well, you take steps towards the goal. Okay. And sometimes, they refer to it as, fake it till you make it, right? Because you have to go through the motions in order for the doors to open. Okay. Like when I was starting out in this entertainment industry kind of thing, right? I never went through the industry. God gave me a wedding and party business. People thought I was in the entertainment industry. No, I just owned a business. I was a business owner. I didn't get to be produced by record companies. When you go on iTunes and you see all my albums, that's me. I had to do that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Hawaiians. I would have rather gone with the record company. I would have rather gone through what all the other musicians and entertainers went through. But here's your big fat butt. Well, here's my big fat butt. This was my big fat butt, Hawaiians, okay? But I didn't have to go to rehab. I didn't have to do the drugs to keep up with the rigorous work schedule, because it is. I mean, you got to get out there and you got to work and you got to keep going. And at a certain point, when you start slowing down, you need something artificial to pick you up. You see what I'm saying? And so I was blessed in that way. God took care of me in that way. God put me in a position which I wasn't, I tell you the truth, I wasn't happy. Okay. I wasn't happy because I saw all these other guys and go, wow, these guys, they got their picture in a newspaper. They got this, they got that. Okay. And then I actually worked for a record company, and the guy who was super cool. I mean, he's passed away now, but super cool. And I love that guy because he was good to me, paid me good, took care of me, everything. He taught me, and he took out files and he said, you see this group over here? And it was like a top group. He goes, you see this group? Here, you see, they wanted TV commercials. They wanted newspaper commercials, newspaper articles. They wanted, advertising. They wanted all of this. And we gave it to them. And so you know what they do? If they have like 3 or 4 artists, right, they get a discount because they're buying in bulk from the newspaper, right? Now they put the ad in the newspaper for all 4 accounts, okay? Now they get a discount for each account, but then when they go in the ledger, it's full price for each account. You see what I'm saying? And they're making all of that off the top. Now that's just one thing. There's radio commercials, there's TV commercials, there's marketing, there's posters, there's all kinds of stuff involved. And they're making a little bit of money off of everything, okay, which adds up to huge money. Then down the road, the music artist goes, hey, how come we're not getting paid? And then he refers to the file and go, well, you guys wanted TV commercials, you guys wanted this, that. We got you out there. We made you a star. We made you popular. Everybody loves you guys. They're buying your music. You see. Okay, yeah, they're famous. Everybody's buying their music, okay? But they're driving Toyotas. No, I'm not making fun of them, okay? It's actually, and it's not wrong. It's business. It's not wrong. It's business, okay? So it's just business. But at the end of the day, right? You have exchanged fame, right, for your work. And it equaled out. It evened out. Okay. Is there a lot of money involved? No. I know some guys that made like 40 record albums. In fact, I know these guys that made 40 record albums. You would think they would be swimming in money by now. No. But they made regular pay. Like, if they were doing a regular job. Right? A regular 9 to 5, but they didn't have to do 9 to 5, right? But they had to do their work schedule. There's things they had to do. But what I'm saying is there's a trade-off, Hawaiians. There's a trade-off, okay? And it's all about what you choose in life. And when you take the steps, the baby steps, the big doors begin to open. And I know because it happened for me. And there was this one guy, that put me on a radio. And I was like, whoa, like I'm forever grateful to him, And he didn't know he was doing it. He didn't know what the result was going to be for that 1 week that I was substituting for this other guy, right? And boom, it was and I knew, but on the third day, and I keep repeating this because I want the young kids to hear this because they might not have heard the other podcast that I said it, but I'll say it again. On the third day, I got it. Like on the third day, it hit me when I was on the radio singing a song with my guitar, and it hit me. It was like, bro, sing for your life. Like your life depends on it. This is your chance. This is it, bro. And I was like, oh, really? Because I have these conversations with myself, right? Inside, internal dialogue, right? And I'm like, really? Oh, okay. And I started singing for my life. Now, I'm sure I entertained the hell out of the guy that it was his radio show, the guy that put me on the radio. I'm sure he just looked at me and goes, this guy is cracking me up. And I did that, because I knew if I could make him laugh, then I was making everybody laugh, right? Because he was the barometer, because it took a lot to make him laugh. And he's a funny guy. He's an entertaining guy. He's a professional. And I was in there, right? And I had tried hard for years until that time. And then boom, right? So what I'm really saying here, okay, this is not like it's about me and whatever. But I'm saying that you're going to feel it too when it's right. You're going to feel it. And you have to take the baby steps because you never know when the big door is going to open. Okay, and I'm saying this for the young guys. You old guys, you older guys like me, right? You guys know already. Okay, but for the young guys, because there's a lot of young people listening to me. Our young demos are huge, especially among the 30-year-olds. So for you guys, just know, you might be going along like I was and nothing's happening and you got to keep going. That's all Uncle is going to say. You got to keep going because it just takes that one day. For me, it was one day. And that day was like, oh, you can do 1 week? And I was like, yeah. So that day turned into the next day, next day, next day. By the end of the week, like people were like hiring me for stuff. And I was like, what? And then I had a wedding and party business. And that was God's way of going, no, you go over here. You go over there. Was I happy? Yes, I was happy to get the work. Yes, I was happy to be able to play my music. But I was not happy in the sense that, the record company stuff didn't happen. See? But anyway, that's the way you go about your stuff. Because, I had been doing affirmations. I'd been doing all this stuff. And I told myself in the first 2 months, because it takes 60 days. It takes 63 days, okay, to change a habit. And it takes 63 days for the affirmations to work. So if you write affirmations, you got to do it for 2 months, at least 2 months. And then you look back and you see how many things turned out. When I did it, I said, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do them. And then if it's not working, that's it, done. And when I look back, I'm like, wow, this happened, that happened. Whoa, this is real stuff. Okay, so anyway, and that's, that's the life coaching part for you guys. And that's the thing that you have to know, that you can follow your road and you have to follow your life path. You got to find out what your passion is. And it's not just a passion that, like, oh, well, I would be happy fishing. Well, maybe. And maybe you could feed your family with the fishing. Maybe you could sell and maybe open a store, maybe go big, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, your life path is important. You need to find out where you fit. When you find out where you fit, and you're giving service to others and you're performing service for other people. Okay, and that's what I do with my life coaching. That's what I do with my singing school. That's what I do with VMAC Consultants. That's what I do with AFM Hawaii Music. That's what I do with all of our companies. I serve others. I provide a service for others, and that's why they're called a service company. I call it, my family of service companies, because that's what it is. It's in service to others. Okay. You can do something that's in service to yourself. You can, I think some of the luckiest guys in that sense, in that regard, are the guys that work on radio. They go to work for 4 hours a day. That's it. And then the rest of the day they have for their lives. And they're making a living, and then they go and do whatever, right? And they have all that free time. I don't have that luxury. In fact, I've been doing this so long that I wouldn't know what to do with that luxury if I had it. So I just, it's not hard work. It's long work, but it's satisfying. So you got to figure out what it is for you. You got to figure out where you fit. Now, the kind of life that's coming is totally up to you, okay? Because here, I have been working with people to find their voice in life, okay? And right now, I am entering a phase in my life where I am teaching, or not teaching. How can I put this? I don't want to sound like it's all me, but I'm leading people in groups to find their voice. Because it's important to find your voice, or to find that collective in a group, to form one voice. And that one voice is representative of the interest of the entire group. You know what I'm saying? So, at this point in my life, it's a challenge. It's almost like leading a choir. It's almost like, because you get all these guys, right, with one thing in common, right? Oh, they think like this. They think on this side or that side or whatever. And they have this feeling and they have this interest, right? And now they need to voice their opinion. And so, I've been teaching individuals to find their voice in life for a long time, some in singing and in life coaching since 2010. In fact, when I mentioned this to one of my voice students, I mentioned, I don't know, years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I mentioned to one of my voice students always catch up with me. They always, every once in a while, they'll shoot me an email, they'll drop in my Facebooks, hey, uncle, that kind of thing. And so because it's a very personal journey with your voice. And when you find it, and when somebody helps you, really establish your voice in life, it's a special thing. So they always keep up, hey, unks, that kind of thing. And so I told them, they said, oh, what you doing now? And this was, I think, probably 5 years ago. And I said, well, I have a life coaching company now because I closed the wedding and party business. So I opened a life coaching thing. And she said, oh, uncle, you were life coaching before life coaching was life coaching. And I was cracking up. And so anyway, but, and like I said, I don't want to make it about me or whatever. The podcast is not necessarily about me, but you need to find your voice and you need to express. You need to express what it is you feel. Because here's what I noticed, right? I noticed with this Lahaina incident, okay, and it was an incident, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it was an incident, okay? It's kind of like there are people that know and they're not saying anything. There are people that know that are just going along. There are people that know what happened and they're just continuing to, not say anything or not participate in discussion or sharing information or, that kind of thing, right? And I got to tell you guys that when you find your voice, okay, it doesn't easily get put down. Okay? When you find your voice in life, when you share your feelings on something, they're your feelings, and you have the right to share it. And you have the right to congregate with others who feel the same way. Now, what's really going on in my opinion is a spiritual battle. I see it. I see the dark side of the world, and I see the good side of the world. The good side of the world already says, well, the dark side's already conquered. But you need the darkness in order to see the light, you know? And just like, when I look at, and I only can talk about my experience because that's all I've experienced. But in my experience, like, I had to go to the dark side to get to the light. I had to go to the dark side to get to the point where I was like, nah, I don't like do that anymore. I want to do this. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people get there, and I think a lot of people get there later in life. I look at the young kids. I look at young guys, okay? And don't take this, as a diss or anything, you young guys, okay? But I look at the young guy, like some of the young guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I was there. But you can't tell these younger people, like, okay, you know what, don't do that because that's going to get you over there, or you do that, this could happen, or no, you have to let them go. You have to let them find it. You have to let them find their way through life. Okay, you can advise, you can advise and all of that. But the parenting has to be done at home in the house, and it has to be done from young. If you guys are just letting your kids go, you guys are just, and this is a person of grandfather age. I have a grandson. I don't know him, but I have a grandson. So I'm at grandfather age, right? But what I'm saying is I'm telling you guys, like, you 30-year-olds, if you guys have kids and you just letting them make any kind, and you're letting the tablet babysit them, and you're letting, you see what I'm saying? If you're just letting it go like that, and you're not, teaching them self-discipline, and you're not teaching them morals and values, guess what's going to happen? They are going to, go down a very rough road, because that's how it is. Everybody goes through their phases, right? We go through our rowdy phase, and then we mellow out, and then we do this and we do that and whatever. And everybody, has their ups and downs, and we need to learn these lessons in life. We need to go through these things. But I suggest that you really put some structure in place for your children, because what we're seeing right now, okay, part of what we're seeing right now with this Lahaina incident, with everything that's going with government, with the people in government, the people in government were small kids back in the 80s. And now they're running government, okay? And now it looks like to us that it could be a lot of these guys don't know what to do. Or it could be a deliberate action when somebody goes, hey, you know what? Don't do anything. Let them go. It could be like that. It could be even more sinister. It could be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this, and let's grab land and water. That kind of stuff, right? But I'm just saying, Hawaiians, you guys gotta look at this stuff, and you guys gotta go, all right, is it time for me to voice my opinion? Is it time for me to, stand up and be counted? Is it time for me to stand for something or to fall for everything, right? That's an old phrase, right? You either going to stand for something or you're going to fall for everything, So are you going to take a stand, or are you going to take a fall? Because I'm telling you, like, the way it looks right now, society can take a huge turn for the better right now. It can take a huge turn. And in order to take a turn for the better, these technological components need to be regulated. They need to be, they need to be, they need to be regulated, because if they're not, right, you don't want to be, you know how frustrating it feels to be on the phone and you talk to the machine, and the machine is going, press 1 for this, press that, everybody loses it, right? It's going to be like, that's the world that's coming. And you're not going to have a choice. You're not going to be able to deal with a human that has compassion or sympathy, or, someone who can change their mind. It's not going to be like that. When you program a computer, a machine, you just program it. It gives you, it gives you this or that. And those two choices have already been programmed and fine-tuned and everything, right? So you have to really think about where we're going at this point. You have to really make your voice heard, and don't be afraid of voicing your opinion. Because you come up with this conservative phrase nowadays, and everybody looks at you like you're crazy, like you're nuts, like something's wrong, like, right? And then, right, we're seeing the reversal. We're seeing the reversal of everything. And then some really radical stuff is like the norm. And I'm like, I think it's funny. I think it's funny until it starts affecting people, until it starts hurting people, until people die because of negligence, until it's either negligence or on purpose. But I'm telling you, right? So please teach your kids. You 30-year-olds that are just starting families, this should be important to you. This should be something, and I know you got to work at it, right? Raising children is a hard job. I never did it. I was not allowed to be a father, okay? But, trust me, I see these things, and I had a really good set of parents, and they really taught me a lot. And I got out into the world, and I never realized like how good they were until I had to put up with a lot of adversity and go through a lot of stuff. And then I was like, wow, lucky I had my dad's phrases in the back of my head. Lucky I had my mom's phrases in the back of my head. Lucky I could hear her voice. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, there's a lot of things coming down the pipe that, you really need to consider, and you really need not be afraid to bring your voice out, okay? Because when you find your voice, you find yourself, and it never really, I want to say it never applied more than it applied today, okay? So now, if you go to Telegram, I'm gonna just run down some things for you guys. Some contacts and stuff. So if you go to Telegram, we have a channel called Lahaina Chat. Now, the subject matter is not just Lahaina, but things surrounding Lahaina. Okay, there's a lot of politics surrounding Lahaina. There's a lot of technology surrounding Lahaina. There's a lot of, how can I say this? Modernization, right, surrounding Lahaina. So we don't know what's going on because there's a communications blackout. There's all kinds of stuff going on, right? There's military participation. There's all kinds of stuff. And I'm not saying like who's wrong, who's right, whatever. I'm not here to judge. I'm here with my own opinions, right? Not in judgment against anyone, but I'm here with my own opinions as to what I think happened, and I'm, for now, I'm going to keep that to myself, but I want to encourage you to express what it is on your mind, because there's a lot of people thinking the same thing, and nobody jumps in and says anything until that one person goes, hey, you know what? And then everybody goes, yeah, like, you see? So don't be afraid to express your opinion. You have the freedom of speech for now, okay? You have the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, Second Amendment for now, okay? You have the third, right? You have all the amendments for now, okay? And if you really, really are compelled, please read the Constitution, because you do have some privileges in there, okay, that you need to exercise, because, if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay, and we don't want to lose those things, So anyway, it's the Lahaina Chat. It's on Telegram. Also on Facebook, you can get my all the communique stuff, right? The the jrkjr.com, which we've been using for years. It used to be for baby parties and weddings and stuff. It's now the podcast, jrkjr.com. So people know the website. Like for years and years, it's been pounded on the radio, television, whatever, jrkjr.com. So that's the podcast. You can get a hold of me on Instagram at Junior Kekuewa Junior 1. Okay. Or our life coaching is hereforyouLifeCoaching.com/confidence for the ladies. Okay. Because we have a female. The majority of my clients have always been female. Chicks dig me. But no, I'm just, that was small kind and arrogant. You know what I mean? But women, because they desire confidence. Okay, because there's so many things in society against or were so many and still are. There's a lot against women, against females, right? It's a harder climb up the ladder to success for a female than it is for a male in this country. It really is. Okay, but in this country, there's things that females can do and things that they can be empowered to do that doesn't exist in other countries. We have a great country. We need to get the country back in shape, back in order, back in gear, back in success mode, back in strength. And these things need to be accomplished. I don't care what political party you belong to. I don't care what you believe, whatever. Okay, but think country if you live in America. Now, you guys overseas, there's a lot of overseas people that listen to me. And I know the bad part. I know the good and bad parts about America. But I'm telling you, Americans, okay, you guys in Hawaii, you guys in the upper 48, as it were. Yeah, you guys need to take pride in your country because, patriotism is not an evil thing. Patriotism is not a bad deal. Patriotism just means you believe in your country as a whole, and you believe in the members of your country, no matter what political party they are, whatever. Okay, people are people. Some people have been brainwashed. Some people have been taken over here to this side and taken over there to that side and whatever. Okay, people will choose. They will pick and choose. And it's not something to judge anybody because that's where the problem is. It's the division. They divide. They keep dividing. Divide. Okay, you have the racial divide. You have political party divide. You have divide. And when you divide, you can conquer. Okay, so you guys, yeah, I remember when I used to watch Hawaii's Greatest Star. I used to sit in the back of the room, like night after night, just memorizing the show. And he used to say certain things. He goes, well, you guys should the Jews should play with the Arabs, the Hawaiians should play with the... he used to go, I'm not going to repeat it. It's old and outdated and probably offensive at this point. But yeah, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to. Okay, you need to come together for the country. You need to come together for this place that we live and for the things that we enjoy. Because you can't enjoy it in other countries. Not very many other countries. And yes, there are some very outstanding countries. Okay, so I don't want to get hate mail from you guys in the Middle East or you guys in Europe. I mean, you guys have some beautiful countries, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you people in America, get it together, okay? And open your eyes and look at the divide. We get divided on all kinds of stuff. Now we're getting divided on gender. We're getting divided on everything. Hey, we're people first, okay? That was the biggest problem in Lahaina. Everybody was going, oh, wow, well, what about this? What about that? What about that? Nobody was going, hey, what about the people? Let's take care of the people. Let's go in and take care of the people. The local people were doing that. The government was like, whoa, no, you guys cannot come in. You guys cannot bring that in. Why? Oh, because it's not approved. It's not Red Cross or FEMA stuff. You guys cannot come. Sorry. You see, this whole thing was about people. Help the people first. People come first. Lives are precious. Never mind material stuff. Never mind all that stuff. It's secondary. Okay, I got guitars in storage that I can't even use yet. I haven't used them yet. They're still in storage. They're guitars that I would kill for if I was like in my 20s. In my 20s, if I saw those guitars, I was like, whoa, you know? And now I have those guitars and I can't play them. You see? So, and what's really important is that I volunteer my time. This is all volunteer time. I don't get paid for the podcast. We have some supporters of the podcast. If you support the podcast, thank you very much. Louise comes to mind. Thank you, Louise. But yeah, if you support the podcast, thank you. Okay. But I don't really need your money. Like, I'm not doing the podcast for money. I'm not here in hopes that one day, it's going to rain money for my podcast. I don't know. That's not why I do this. I do it for the young kids. I do it for the young kids and for the kupuna that, are thinking maybe what I'm saying, but they're not telling anybody. In the old days in Hawaii, everybody kept to themselves. Everybody kept the knowledge to themselves. And this is why the Hawaiian language and the Hawaiian customs and the Hawaiian traditions took a back seat to everything for a long, long time until the 70s, till I was in high school. And when I was in high school, whoa, we had a renaissance, man. And it has kept going. And now we have small little kids speaking the Hawaiian language. What a beautiful thing. Small little children, just vala'au in Hawaiian. Like you Hawaii people understand vala'au. For you mainland, is this conversation, this talking story. Yeah, that's what we say. We call conversation talking story in Hawaii. Okay, sorry Hawaiians, I gotta translate. But anyway, but you see, so these are the things to think about. Think about people. Think about. You people in America, think about America. You people in Germany, think about Germans. You guys take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. When you have, that's one thing that you can learn. One thing you can learn from local people in Hawaii is how to take care of each other. Because local people in Hawaii take care of each other. Okay, because people come first. Okay, the only thing that prevented that in the Lahaina thing was government officials, basically. How sad. How very, very sad. It doesn't matter what they were bringing in. It doesn't matter, okay? So some of us know the underlying stuff, and for that, you got to go to Telegram, okay? Lahaina Chat and Telegram. Go to Lahaina Chat, go sign up. You just download the app and just go into Lahaina Chat and talk story. Because something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. We need balance. So whenever you don't have balance, right? You have too much of one thing, right? You need to balance. We need to find that balance. So if we don't find that balance, I can tell you what's going to happen. If we don't find the balance, we're going to be in a very restrictive life, in a very restrictive world, where everything, and I'm talking the planet, everything, okay, will be run by a small little itty bitty handful of people. Okay, with AI, with artificial intelligence, theoretically, 5 people could run the planet. I'm maybe 2. I don't know. I'm not gonna. That was comedy. There you go. There's your comedy, Hawaiians. But yeah, let's not get there. Okay, let's focus on people. Let's focus on how we can help each other instead of how we can, be against each other and how we can, enforce the divide. We don't need to enforce the divide. Okay, so remember the life coaching takeaway from this podcast, right? Write it down. Speak it after you write it. Okay, visualize where it is you want to go and take the baby steps. Because every time you take the baby steps to where you want to go, it's going to... sorry, Hawaiians, I got to go, Hawaiians. Hawaiians. Well, we want to thank our sponsors, Island Club and Spa, Brother Randy and Sister Jerry, also the Voice Master family of service companies, also Brother Darren Chinen and his music from AFM Hawaii Music at afmhawaiimusic.com. And also, it's here for you, lifecoaching.com, if you guys want to talk to me in person and you guys got stuff you want to work on. Until next time, I'm Junior Kekuewa Jr. saying mahalo and aloha.